Hey, Polly, Niadze, welcome to the Prudentials. Lisa Russell, welcome to the Prudentials show. Labu Kenya is watching, welcome to the show. Titiwa Deuri, hey, my girl, how are you? Umtua Kansas. Yeah, welcome to the Prudentials. Patricia Osamba, hey, how are you? Welcome to the Prudentials. Yeah. Tag a friend, invite a friend, is gonna be good. We're talking about cyberbullying. Hey, my girl. Yeah. Essie Ribs from Rhode Island, right? Welcome to the show. Yeah, Livy Kem, welcome to the show. Babakoi, welcome to the show. Thank you guys for joining the Prudentials show. Tonight, I'm having Eunice Menja. She is based in Oklahoma City. She's a marriage coach. She's a life coach. We're going to be talking about cyberbullying. It's rampant. Hey, that's my friend, Philip Laguno. Welcome to the Prudentials. Join in, guys. Let's do this. Yeah. So join, tag a friend. Wairumo Kemani, join. Thank you so much for joining the Prudentials. Karibuni sana. Yeah, Eunice is here now. Essie Daniels, welcome to the show. Wairimo Niadze. Inviting Eunice Menja. Declined. Really? What's going on? Eunice. Invite to the broadcast.
I'm here.
Okay, you there? I was kind of getting worried now. I was like, oh, what is going on now? Yeah.
Is my video looking clear?
Yeah, it's good. You're looking good. Yeah. Maybe you want to move a little bit. A little bit. You want to move a little bit that way. Yes, that way. There you go. Yes.
Sema.
Yeah, mzuri sana. How are you? Oklahoma kuko aje?
Oklahoma kuko poa.
Oh, okay. You want to give some shout outs there? Maybe some people that are watching you. Maybe people you
Actually, that's what I'm trying to see if I can share because I can't see.
Yeah. I'm going to play the music here. Keep sharing the video.
I'm not able to see the video on my Facebook wall to be able to share.
Oh, you can see it?
I'm trying. Oh,
okay.
Okay. Now I see.
Go on my page.
I have some private settings that are really very private settings.
Viwami, welcome to the show. Let me give some few shout outs here. Kethinsky, Okovich, Ogansky from Seattle. Welcome to the show. I love that name. Anna Mora, welcome to the show. Yeah, Gitao, that's my co-founder. Yes, Karibu to the show. And Gitao, can you please share the video? Share everywhere. Share it.
Trying
to talking about cyberbullying today.
Trying to share too.
Yeah. Joe, that's the last name. I can accept on her behalf. LOL. Yeah, you're welcome to join this show anytime. Hey, yeah. Monica Kifoi, welcome to the show. Karibuni nyote. Kay Daudi, I give you Vicky Oduk. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining the Prudentials.
I can't see the comment.
You can see, you may want to sweep to the left and scroll up.
See left.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
you're
I
like,
see Erica. Hi, Erica. How are
yeah, I
you?
told you.
Hey.
Yeah,
Yeah, now I see people over there.
yeah, and that's Monica, African Queen, Kush. Welcome to the show. Karibu sana to the Prudentials. Yeah, I'm playing your favorite song here, Eric Wainaina. Hmm?
Oh, just play that song. I loved yesterday I listened to it and I was doing a live
Yes.
video.
Yeah, I
Actually,
saw that. I saw
my
that. Yeah,
tears were going down. It's such a powerful song.
it is powerful, and especially
Um,
this time in Kenya.
Especially this time in Kenya.
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah, and it's very nice.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah. Again,
Yeah.
guys, don't go anywhere. Today we're talking about cyberbullying. It's becoming rampant. Every time I look on the wall, people's, Facebook wall, they're like talking about, oh, I've been bullied. Somebody just inboxing me. What? We have to talk about it. We have to talk about it, bring that awareness. What is it?
Yeah.
What is the repercussions? And
Yeah.
without wasting much time, I'm gonna have Eunice. I know you've been here before, but I'll have you introduce yourself again to the viewers.
Okay. Trying to make
Eunice.
this phone behave. Can
Yeah,
can you see me?
I can see you very well. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for having me on your show. I want
Yes.
to say I'm very, very passionate to this topic, and especially being a mother of teenagers,
Mm-hmm.
raising my children in America, and uh, being different in my own ways, the cultural differences and all that. That makes
Yeah.
this topic very, very special to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell the viewers, I know I brought you here about 3, 4 weeks ago, but you can tell the viewers who you are, where you are, and what you do for a living.
My name's Eunice Menja, and I'm in Oklahoma, in the United States, and I am a mother of two. I have been to school several years. I have a master's
Hmm.
degree in human development and family science. Um, Youth and adolescence was actually my main focus when I was doing my research. So I have tackled a lot of issues, especially regarding bullying, cyberbullying, youth suicide and child suicide. I mentor young people and I come across a lot of these issues. So I do a lot. I'm married. I have an organization called Dependo Kids International, and we also work with a lot of youth. Actually, we have a lot of teenagers at the children's home that we support in Kenya. Yeah. So
That's
that's in a
good.
nutshell.
Yeah, and you back to school again. If you can tell us what you're doing in school right now.
Actually, I don't want to say in school because I'm not a full-time student, but I came across a very harsh topic in our country, Kenya, involving child sexual abuse, and I happened to be somebody who discovered it and decided to go, the 11-yard, you know, reporting to the police and have the investigation done, and dealt with FBI and had the perpetrator prosecuted and jailed. But along the way throughout that, I discovered that there is a lot of secrecy when it comes to child sexual abuse because of how children are socialized. So I started asking myself, why would children who know that they have someone who care for them and love them, would not want to report something like that? So it actually triggered me, and I talked to a few people. So we are doing a research to find out some of the factors that actually prevent children from speaking up about sexual abuse. So it's a research,
Wow.
but it's going to actually end up being a PhD. So
Whoa. Whoa, yes.
Yes, my main focus is to solve that misery of, kids don't talk about child sexual abuse, but though it happens. And it's one of the things that, you can see now, even here in America, it's still going on and people don't speak about it, even adults. So, yeah, we're doing research on that and I will be happy to share some of the results when we come close.
Okay, I want to thank Eunice. She's a friend to the show. She's been here before, and she's mainly our contributor here. If I have something which is like bothering me, I always inbox and I say, "Hey,
Oh,
Eunice, there's something going on here. So can you help me tackle this issue?" So she's really a good friend of mine, and we're gonna work together. And I'm so happy you joined the Prudentials tonight to talk about this cyberbullying.
I'm
So
really
let's
honored.
get
I'm
on to
honored by that
yeah.
introduction, George. I'm really honored.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about cyberbullying. Can you tell us in the simple terms here, what is cyberbullying? Because apparently most people they actually don't know what it is. Based
Well,
on what I've seen on Facebook.
cyberbullying in simple terms is a bully, a person that decides to be bullied but uses electronic communication to bully other
Mm-hmm.
person, the
Mm-hmm.
victim. So the cyberbullies use their cell phones, they use their computers, they use their technology to send demeaning messages, emails, and they can also call the victim to intimidate them or to threaten them just so that they can feel like they have control over them. So you don't have to be an enemy to the bully. You can be bullied by your friends. You can be bullied by acquaintances. You can be bullied by anonymous people. And so most of the times, people who bully others, they do have a motive to destroy the other person's character, just to demean them and make them feel bad.
Okay. What if you post something derogatory on somebody's wall? Because not too long ago, this morning, I actually saw this guy complaining on social media, like somebody posted something derogatory on his page. Is that still considered as the cyberbullying?
Yes, because it is something negative that is not acceptable. It does not meet, it doesn't meet, I want to say it doesn't meet it doesn't meet the guidelines of social positivity. So if you actually post something on somebody's wall and it's, they have not invited that kind of negativity or that kind of language, that is considered bullying. There are so many ways that cyber bullies use. Some people create websites or links and threads and share with other people so that they can use that as a tool to bully others. People will bully their teachers, they bully their co-workers, they bully their classmates. They will also bully public figures. Public figures are very, very prone to being bullies. For example, like you can be bullied by people who do not support your cause. And you don't have to invite them to do that. They will just do it. Some people will post racial comments or tribal comments on your wall. They will threaten you. They will send you Facebook messages through inbox, and you haven't invited that. So that is considered bullying. And actually, it's a crime. So things like that.
Yeah, and I can attest to that because since I started doing this show about 2 months ago, my inbox or Facebook wall is overflooded by all these negativity. People they just want to look the way you dress, the way you talk, the way you present yourself, and that actually is considered cyberbullying. And this is a very important topic because it's happening, guys. It's happening everywhere, whether it's adult youth, children. It's happening everywhere. So according to your own research, who is mostly affected by cyberbullying? Is it like adults or youth? Based on what you have found out so far.
George, everybody is affected by bullying. You can be rich, you can be poor, you can be educated, you can be uneducated. Anybody can be be affected by cyberbullying, because whoever person decides to bully, sometimes they don't even choose your character, they don't choose your personality, but they feel like that is the only way they can exercise their power, by controlling other people's emotions. So I want to say right now, what I'm very, very passionate about is cyberbullying, especially in youth, because I have come across people that I know that have lost their lives because of cyberbullying, because it causes stress, it drives somebody to the wall, to where they actually kill themselves. For example, if somebody hacks your account, and they actually use that account to send messages as if you were the one sending. Imagine if it's a child, somebody creates an account and they post as Eunice Menja, and they share, for example, most of the, I want to say the frequent cases are where somebody sends nude pictures of somebody else. For example, kids will do anything, teenagers will do anything. A girl sends nude pictures to a boy, and over the phone or text message, and they decide to share that message with other people without permission. That is considered bullying. So what happens is that if they, for example, they break up, somebody uses that to bully the other person because they broke up. And so we have come across a lot of children that have committed suicide because of such kind of issues. Tell somebody your secret, even an adult. I have women, girlfriends, I'll tell them about my secrets, even regarding my marriage or my financial status, and they go tell to others. And you start receiving messages about that, or somebody creates a live video to bully you, that is, anybody can be affected, George. It's across the board. It's across the board. And we have people taking their lives because of that.
Yeah, and if you have never been cyberbullied, you do have no idea, because it does hurt. Because this is somebody who is trying to portray a negative image to thousands and thousands of people out there. So it's a really, really painful experience. And let's talk about the effects. Like, if you are cyberbullied, can you tell us some of the things, the effects you can experience due to the cyberbullying?
Let me talk about some ways that, because there are differences between males and females, and even research shows that boys most of the times will use physical bullying, or things like threaten. Some kids in school, if they want to bully another child, they'll say, I'll bring a knife, or I'm going to bring a gun to school and I'll kill you, things like that. They threaten. But another thing, on the other side, women use relational, they actually use relational bullying, kind of. They'll block you, they'll tell other friends they don't want to be your friends. And this happens a lot even in high school and in middle school and things like that. So they isolate you. Once they do isolate you, the effects of that, or even when they send out a message there that is false, or it's the message that actually, is against your character, or it's not true, or some of the things that will happen is that people get into depression. You find out that usually the young people, they start dropping in their grades, they lose self-esteem. They are not interested in a lot of things, like, for example, now during the holidays, your child is going to start saying, I don't want to go, shopping. I don't want to go for Christmas party. I don't want to go do the things that they like to do. Other things is like they will just try to avoid, some kids will try to avoid social media, or they'll actually get more glued to social media. A child doesn't want to leave their phone behind because they're afraid that the next thing is going to come out is a hateful message. They will take away a lot of, just a lot of their joy from them. And so you start finding the children are acting, they're portraying a lot of anger and things like, I don't want to go to school and things like that. Unexplained health issues, like, they have headaches, they have stomach aches, but even when you take them to the doctor, there's no sickness that can actually be identified. It's just that they're going through so much stress and so much, depression related to bullying.
Okay, is that what is called cyberbullying induced depression because of stuff like that?
Yes, and they can be very, very deadly, because especially most of the times when children are bullying on their phone, they're in their home, they'll be bullying in their bed, they'll try to hide. Face-to-face bullying, it's different because you can actually see your bully. When you're being bullied through the social media, sometimes you don't even know who that person is, or even if you don't know how much, if they're sending you a hateful message, you don't know how many other people are seeing that message. So you're actually even more scared. You're being bullied in your own home, where you call safe. That is the only safe place. So you are going to feel like you want to disappear. There's no place that is safe. If you go to school, those are the same people that are receiving the same kind of messages. So it can be very harsh, even for adults. Imagine if you're being bullied by your coworkers. That is a place where you go every day. What are you going to do? Quit your job, things like that. And even if you go home, cyberbullying is everywhere, because it's 24/7 and you can't control it. And so if the parents don't get to know that it's happening, your child can actually become very destructive because of that.
Yeah. I want to say there's something which is adding more fuel to the fire. Maybe I'm your friend. I don't like you. I'm going to go and make a private Facebook account, and I'm going to use that to attack you. And this is somebody who is like laughing with you, somebody who go out with you, somebody who call a friend. But I have actually found out those people who doesn't like you, they can do anything to damage your image. Have you experienced anything like that?
They will constantly call your phone from a Google account. They will call you when you're in the bed. They will call you at night. You try to block that number, they create another one, and you actually don't know where they're existing. You're afraid of your life too, because you don't know whether they are actually seated outside your door. So it can be very, very dangerous, and especially because of this era that we are in. Social media is like, it's like wildfire. It is. You can be bullied here, and everybody in Kenya, around the world knows about that kind of bullying.
Yeah. Do you have some of the statistics about the suicide, which are related to the cyberbullying? If you have any statistics, or if you can tell about that.
Yeah, I do have here. Let me turn the screen on my computer. I have a few suicide-related statistics, especially on children. This is something that actually happened to to children at the age of 5 to 12.
Gosh.
Yes, 5 years old to 12. Actually, this research actually shows that in 1999 through 2015, 1,309 children ages 5 to 12 years in the US took their lives through suicide. And this is something that is rising. You're talking about 2015. This is something that is actually going up. So it doesn't discriminate against the age. 5 years old kids are being bullied. Everybody has a cell phone now. So most of the times when children at this age actually kill themselves, it's because of social media, because they have actually peer pressure has a lot of power in this age, especially. Most children under 13 years of age who killed themselves were actually boys. 76% of those children that killed themselves through that window between 1999 and 2015 were boys.
What about the adults? Do you have any statistic for adults?
I haven't really done a lot of research on adults, but I do know that actually adults, especially male, are also affected by suicide a lot, because you all know that, women like to talk. I mean, if somebody bullies me, more than likely I'm gonna call my girlfriend and talk about it, or even laugh about it, or even scream or even cry. But what happens is that men usually suppress that, pain. And so what happens is that they actually end up killing themselves. And that's why you can also see, even in children, the highest, in gender is boys, because they don't talk about it. We had a very recent case in Texas, and I'm not going to mention names, but you all know, guys, that there's a young man that killed himself the other day. Most of the cases that I've actually come across, very, very close, are actually, they involve boys. There was another boy that killed himself in California. His parents were also Kenyan, and he had been bullied at school. So it's affecting a lot of people. That kid was actually in high school. Yeah, and we have.
Can you tell us some of the ways?
Say that again.
Yeah. What are some of the ways these kids are committing suicide? Is it by a gunshot? Is it by hanging themselves? If you can talk about that.
I want to say, in our community, especially the international families here in America, you're not going to see a lot of people using guns. And that is because in our culture, many parents don't keep guns. There are very few people that keep guns. If you see a gunshot, suicide is very rare, but it does happen. So some kids, the one I'm talking about in California, was actually hanging. He went out of school and actually hanged himself in a park. There is, suffocation. They will use medication, but, generally in young age, there's not a lot of gun suicide.
Is there some cues the parents can be able to tell if their kids are at risk of suicide? And then you can watch your child, either your son or your daughter, and can say, something is like really weird here. I have to take an intervention. Give us some of the cues you can talk about here. We can look about in our children.
I talked about some of the effects or some of the things that you're gonna see in children that are being bullied, and I talked about an explained decrease even in appetite, or even not having interest in a lot of activities that they used to have, for example, and also physical illnesses such as just an explained headache, things like that. They want to be home. They don't want to be in company of other people. They are trying to find out what is the code. If you have a gun, they're trying to find out where you keep the medication. They will actually talk about it. They will talk about things like, I don't like myself, I hate myself, I want to kill myself. Those kind of things, they're going to talk about them. They want to say, I don't want to go to school. Other things are like, they are trying to get money even to buy the medication to actually, kill themselves. And so those are some of the things that parents need to look at. Especially if your child has been an active child and all of a sudden, they don't want to leave their phone. They're talking about some things that actually show you that they don't have interest in life. Make sure that you watch out for those. And especially if that child is very, very active on social media. And I want to talk about not just cyberbullying, because the face-to-face bullying also is real in schools, and also, even in colleges and things like that. Just make sure that you're monitoring any kind of behavioral change in your children, the language that they are speaking. Once in a while, monitor their social media activities, their accounts. Their phone messages, what they are receiving and what they are sending out there, because it's very, very important. Once in a while, we'll take our daughter's phone, because we know that, we pay for that phone, and we know it can be good, it can be destructive. And so we just screen through. And it's not that we don't trust her, but we are worried that somebody else could be using the same gadgets to bully our child. So just be very cautious and talk to your children, increase the communication too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think communication is very important. We have talked about what is cyberbullying. We have talked about some effects. Let's talk about the prevention now. What are some of the ways we can be able to prevent our teenage kids from this suicide and cyberbullying?
Definitely cyberbullying. It's just make sure that you're promoting positivity to prevent.
Mm-hmm.
Because if your child is very very active in social media, I talked about monitoring and also just
Mm-hmm.
just promote positivity and make sure that they are hanging out with the right group, because most of the times when children bully is because they're in the wrong company. Of course, you cannot prevent the other children's behavior, but you can prevent for your child. Make sure that your children are involved in activities, that they're actually getting away, where they can actually release that tension if it's coming in, involve them in sports. Just make sure that they're strongly connected with the other communities, even if it's church. Even other, teach your children skills on how to solve conflict, because we are not going to make sure that your child is not completely bullied, but we can help them to handle such kind of issues without necessarily taking their lives, and just making sure that you have communication often, reaffirm your children, talk to them about life and the reasons why they need to actually value their life, even if other people don't value them. Remind them that they are loved by God. I always talk about that with my children. They are loved and they are beautiful, because it happens so often. Yeah.
Is there any warning signs you can see and look your kids and say he or she is in danger of committing suicide? Is there anything you can really, really watch and say we need an intervention here?
Well, I did talk about things like, they are looking for guns. They are looking for
Okay.
what is the code for this gun? Where is the key? Where does my dad keep the key? They have bizarre
Yeah.
behavior, like they're definitely being careless. If they're drivers, they're driving too high speeds, and maybe you're even getting phone calls from the police, or they're getting tickets, because that shows they don't value their lives. Of course, they want to use alcohol or drugs. They are overdosing in medication and things like that. They are talking about it. If your child definitely is withdrawn and you're very very worried about it, make sure that you're not leaving that child alone. And if you have any reason to suspect that your child is suicidal, the first thing you do is to make sure that you connect them with a qualified therapist, because
Mhm.
even the doctors, some doctors, just the general doctors will not diagnose when your child is suicidal. So make sure that they are talking with a psychologist. If they have, even if they're taking medication on depression, I know you're in the medical field, but you know that there are some medication that actually increase the suicidal thoughts. They have been, struggling with depression, but the medication that is prescribed to them actually can also make them have those ideas of killing themselves. I don't know whether it's because of the mood changes and things like that, and also the hormonal changes. Just make sure that your child is following up with treatment. I've seen many people that actually have killed themselves because they were actually being treated for depression. So there was definitely a sign for a parent to know that my child could be suicidal. They have neglected their medication, and of course encourage them, because sometimes when you put somebody on medication, you are expecting instant changes, in their mood or whatever, but you have to keep encouraging them and follow up, make sure that they are using that medication the right way and they're talking to a counselor. um, yeah.
Okay, yeah, and I know time heals. What message or what can you advise the parents who lose their kids? Because I know they feel guilty. There's a guilt. Is there anything I could have done better about these kids? Is there anything I could have prevented this suicide? Is there anything you can talk in specific about these parents who are losing their kids just for that healing process?
Yeah, and you know, it would be very ugly of me to even try to blame any parent who has lost their child. All I can do
Yeah.
is really empathize with them and say that I'm very, very dearly sorry for what has happened. A lot of people that I have seen actually that have lost their children through suicide. We had a case here in Oklahoma just the other day. A very beautiful girl killed herself in college. So what the parents have done is actually to be, you know, speaking up again about it. They actually had people, the community donate, instead of flowers, they donated to the suicide prevention you know,
Wow.
organizations, because they want to do, you know, they want to do better for other kids. You know, if they fail to see some of those warning signs, or you know, if you know, not to make sure that they are feeling guilty, but also to make sure that they are using that loss to save other lives. So you know, if you're a parent and you have lost a dear one because of suicide, it wasn't your fault. It's very, very hard to identify somebody who is actually suicidal. It's, I mean, you can never tell when somebody is going to commit suicide. Sometimes they will say they're going to commit suicide, and you take them to the, you know, to the psychologist, or even have them hospitalized, but they'll come out and they'll be fine, and they'll be in their happiest mood, and the next thing you hear, you know, 2 months down the line, they have killed themselves. You know, you did whatever you could for your child. So there's really nothing I can, you know, I can't blame anybody. It's something that nobody wants to deal with it. But because we are aware of these things as parents, and even as community members, we need to speak about it. We need to reach out. One thing I know is that, you know, we can be in a community where there's a lot of isolation. Let's reach out to, you know, other parents and find out, you know, how they are dealing with these issues, because what I do can help somebody else. What somebody else does can help me. So just, you know, build a community for your children, you know, where they can actually talk to each other. And especially if you're a busy mom or busy dad, you know, just make sure that, you know, you are monitoring your child, or you're connecting them with other positive people um, in their lives. And I know that, you know, things we talked about before with you about, you know, how children get
Mm-hmm.
affected by issues like divorce. You know, if they are missing one
Yep.
parent and is not there, just make sure that even though you're not with the dad of that child, that you're actually keeping those lines, you know, connected. Make sure that you're not isolating your child. We can be very, very selfish and say that because we are okay out of that relationship, our children are okay. And sometimes it's not, most of the times it's not the case. So open those communication lines so the children cannot feel like, you know, because they'll be bullied. Let me tell you, kids get bullied about, I don't have a dad, I don't have a mom, or things like that.
Yes.
And you know, if
Mm-hmm.
they can say, I have a dad who loves me, even if he doesn't live in my house, you know, that's a
Yeah.
different way of dealing with that. So we just have to be very, very sensitive. Yeah.
Okay. We've talked about the effects, about prevention. Fair enough. What happens if your kid is a bully? What do you do with that?
What happens if your kid is a bully? What happens, George, if
Yes.
you yourself are a bully?
Yes.
Anyway,
Uh-huh.
because most of the times our children actually emulate what the parents do. If I'm a parent
Exactly.
that
Yes.
actually bad mouth other parents, and my child hears
Yeah.
that, they're gonna do exactly that when they go to school. So the first place where we need to socialize our children about positive and, you know, just social skills, positive social skills. You know, help your children to be pro-social. They don't have to insult somebody because they were insulted. They don't have to call somebody a stupid word because that's what they were called. They don't have to hit back. You know, because most of the times our children are going to do exactly what happens at home. If there's violence that happens at home, remember I talked about this before, it's gonna be actually seen in your child. You know, if there's, just make sure you're preventing your child from experiencing violence. If you're in a relationship where there's violence, you need to get help first as parents, and then you need to teach your children that you don't put a fire by lighting another fire. George, if you send me a hateful message, I am going to send you a message that tells you God loves you. I don't want to be a bully. And I want to actually be an example to my children. I speak about this every time with my kids. If your child is a bully, I'm sorry, you have to step up. You have to actually tell them that is not acceptable. Because I know that sometimes, we hear that, if my child is bullied, I want them to bully also. We need to step away from that. We can't we can't pay bad for bad. We have to be positive. We have to be the people that are actually showing other people to be positive. And I know it is very, very hard, but it starts from a home. It starts from home. Charity begins at home, and that's where it's gonna begin. We have to tell our children that it is not acceptable to send a rude message. It's not acceptable to use demeaning language, even on social media. You don't know how many times I'll comment on people's Facebook and I'll go back and delete it because I don't think that I am the right person to do that. And I don't want to encourage that. So we have to teach our children to be positive. If you have to take away that phone, if you are using to bully other people, you need to take it. Take responsibility first as a person. Make them pay for it. You do not reinforce bully. You don't reinforce a bully behavior, because if your child bullies, they're gonna be bullied at one time, and you won't be able to deal with it. So yeah.
Okay, I think you're talking to me, and I'm trying to be a better person, because my motto is like, don't start none, will be none. If you hit me, I'm gonna hit you right back, like Donald Trump style. You don't mess in my Facebook wall, because I'm gonna hit you right back. I'm trying to be a better person, because you don't come for me unless I send for you. And I keep on saying this once, I cannot tell you how many messages I've seen, and I hit right back. Maybe I'm trying to be a better person, but you said it. It starts with me. The charity begins at home, but it's gonna take a long process for me to just kind of absorb that. But for now, don't start none, will be none. So that's what I'm gonna leave that over there. So
I want you to be. I want to encourage you to be a better person, and I want to encourage you to be a very, because your Facebook lives are to build. Do not let the enemy use bullying to actually make you do opposite of what you're meant to do. You're building families. You're building lives by what you're doing right now. So I know that one of the things that the enemy is gonna do is gonna try and put you down through those kind of bullying messages, and they do that. I'm bullied. I am bullied a lot of times. And you know what? I block people because I don't want to read their bully messages. It's not because I'm a coward. It's not because I want to present myself as a good person. It's because I don't want to encourage people to bully each other on my wall. That's not what it is meant for. I am building lives in Kenya. Tomorrow I'm headed to my beloved country. I want to build lives. I want to pay a cost to build lives. And it's not a very easy, I know the Bible says that if somebody slaps you one, side, give them the other side. I want to do that. I want to do that. I don't want to pay back with nonsense.
Yeah, I think I have a lot to learn from you, Eunice. And I can tell you,
people the hard way.
Yeah, and I can tell you, I decided a few days ago, I'm just gonna keep my page clean. No matter what comes on my way, I'm just gonna keep it clean. If you wanna send a hate, that's fine. But I'm just gonna keep it clean and block. I use that block, button, and block those people who bully other people. Yeah. What about the prosecution? If a kid is like 10 years old, 11 years old, 5 years old, they're bullying, and somebody go there and commit suicide, can they be prosecuted? Or the parents gonna be prosecuted?
Actually, now many states, even in schools, they've actually they do have that law now. You can be prosecuted for causing somebody to kill themselves. So it is a crime. It can be prosecuted, especially if it is intentional, and they can be able to prove that actually your bullying is the one that made that child commit suicide. They're gonna come after your family too. And you don't want to be
Yes,
haunted by somebody's blood because you failed to prevent it.
exactly.
I pray for children every day, whether they are my children or not, because I know that bullying is very deadly. It's very, very deadly. And I talk with a lot of youth that actually go through bullying. Yeah.
Yeah, can you talk about whether it's youth, adult, legal ramifications? If somebody just bully you, you don't want to respond to them. Can you take that message to the police and say, he been bullying me or she been bullying me? Can you do something about it? Can you do that?
If bullying is happening in school, the first thing is to report it to the school, the authorities. There are times that I've had to be the person that steps up if I don't see any response from the teachers, and I've not had that lately. But when my children were younger, there are times that I had to email the teachers myself if I believe that my children were being bullied and nothing was done. So you just have to step up. The police, if the school take action and they call the parents and the teachers, the students have been punished and they keep on bullying, they can be suspended from school. Actually, some children have actually been, totally removed from school, and sometimes they do have to go. It can become a police case in cases where they're kind of bullying that especially involves things like guns and threatening that you're gonna bring a gun to school or a knife, or you're beating somebody in the bus. It becomes a police case. So there are some, and the parents are involved, because if your child is a minor, you're supposed to handle that back at home.
Is it also true they can be denied admission to colleges and
Oh yeah.
even employment?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Because you become a juvie, and those records actually go public. So it's very, very possible. And definitely, if you are disqualified from completing your education even in high school, that means you won't have your diploma, so you can't go to any college. There are many consequences, and I haven't come across any child that I know actually that has been a bully. Mostly that they have been victims. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And somebody was saying the best way if you're bullied is not to respond, because if you respond, you don't have a case.
And what happens, especially at the school level, they do have the tactics or strategies that they have taught the children how to respond to a bully. And of course, there are steps where you can stand up for yourself and tell the bully that you do not accept that, or things like that. But if it becomes where it actually threatens your safety, that's when you have the counselors and the school administrators involved. So
okay, let's talk about the cyber. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, you can respond to a bully. I tell my children, you respond to your bully, and if they don't stop, go ahead and report it to the principal. You can respond to a bully, because we have to teach our children to stand up for themselves. And standing up for yourself doesn't mean that you hit back or you call a name. It's just you just speak. You just say you don't like that language. I don't like to be bullied. I don't like what you said to me. I do not accept that, or things like that. Yeah.
Okay. What about the social media, like on Facebook, and somebody who is bullying you? It's in Kenya, and we know like US does not have a legal jurisdiction of convicting somebody in Kenya. What do we do with that? Like, if somebody is in another country, there's nothing you can do about it. Do you know how to go about that?
And social media bullying becomes very, very complicated, because even sometimes when somebody who is bullying you can be actually anonymous, but just using a fake account. So it can be very, very hard even to catch the bully. So the best thing you do is you need to make sure that you actually disconnect yourself from that person. Just make sure that you are not following, whatever people they are following, because sometimes you can block somebody and they can still get access to you. So if you find out that you are being bullied by somebody, you can block them. Sometimes you have to change your Facebook name or even your accounts, just to make sure that those people are not accessing you. I don't think there's very much you can do. First of all, you need to report to Facebook also, because they will block that person or
Yes.
they will remove them from Facebook and things like that once you report. But there's not much that can be done about, people bullying in Kenya. What I know is things like other crimes, even Americans that commit crimes, even in Kenya, they can be prosecuted here, depending on what it is. So even somebody in Kenya, if they commit a crime against, somebody here, they can be prosecuted either in Kenya or here. But social media, it's really mainly upon you. You can decide what actions you need to take, but mostly I would disconnect myself from that kind of a person.
Okay, there, guys, you have it. Everything, about cyberbullying. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about, Eunice, is about the political situation in Kenya. What is the way forward? What are people going to do? What are we going to cope with these, depending on the political climate right now in Kenya? What are some ways we are supposed to maybe heal from all these hatred, all these political mess we're facing? You can tell the people how to cope about that.
Well, I want to say that I did more than one video just before the election started, the ones that happened in August. We were doing the peace campaign. I was one of the ambassadors through Kwitu, the Kenyan women in the United States. And we talked about a lot of things. We talked about some of the things that we actually talked about is we told our people to stay away from violence. We told our people to make sure that they are not used by the politicians to push their motives, make sure that they are not hitting on their neighbors or just hating on their neighbors and things like that. There's really nothing much you can do right now where that has, reached, except that you can, we tell our fellow Kenyans to just make sure that they're doing the right thing, and of course the right thing I mean by what is socially right, because if you're hating even on, on social media, you're inciting the violence, you are inciting the hatred. What I'm doing best right now is to actually just pray about it. I'm heading to Kenya tomorrow, and I can tell you I'm anxious. But one thing that I know to do is really to pray for my beloved country. Whatever has happened, I don't think even 2007 was close to this, even though there is not as much bloodshed. There's just a lot of tension. People are suffering, and we are worried about what needs to happen. But first of all, we need to pray, and we also need to tell our leaders to actually think beyond themselves. That's all I can say. And I will continue to say even when I go there, because they need to think beyond themselves.
I was going to ask you whether our leaders, whether it's NASA or Jubilee, do you think they have done anything to help uniting Kenyans? Because I personally, I don't think so. No matter what side you are, they haven't done nothing to unite us. Actually, it's dividing the country, more. What do you?
Yeah, I'm probably the wrong person to actually talk on this, because I try to be, I think I try to be very, very neutral when it comes to the political issues, because, and I have to tell you why. About 6 years ago, I established a children's home in Kenya. It's called Upendo, and that's the main reason why I'm going to Kenya. And, my heart bleeds so much, because even as much as we are being divided, along the tribal lines, our children's home serves every tribe. We have Luos there, we have Luyas there, we have Kambas there, we have Kikuyus there. I can't be on any side, really, because every one of my child is
and that's the way to go.
And because it seems like our politics are divided along those lines, I really stay, just very, very neutral. But I am praying that, God intercedes in this situation. because there's a lot of uncertainty right now. And our children are going to be starting exams very soon. I have 6 candidates right now doing KCP. There was a message that was actually going, was being passed on, and I almost had a heart attack because I thought it was true. And I'm still praying that I'm sorry, and I'm still praying that it's not true and it's not anything close to the truth, because those are innocent kids. And KCP and KCSE holds a lot of people's future. All those children I'm talking about. Orphans and neglected children. That's all they hope for. That's all they have. Education. If their education is interrupted, it can be very, very stressful. So
and I always say, like, education is their right. So it's being violated. And when I saw that message, I could not believe it. And what we're talking about here is something regarding to KCPE, KCSE, saying like they're not going to be doing the examination because it has been compromised. Pray for our country, and it's still divided. And we don't. Some people, they don't even know the way forward. If it can reach to that, I don't know how low they can get. If denying those kids the right to do the examination, the parent they actually paid for. That's very sad.
Yeah, they do need to do the exams, and I think later on I think I heard that it was hoax news, and that's what I prayed for, that it's not true. So nobody's life needs to be interrupted. And of course, even if they are not prevented from doing exams, the hostility that is in Kenya right now, those kids are being taught by all tribes, wherever the teachers are. Everybody with all that anxiety, it's not healthy. It's not a very healthy environment, even for young people that are innocent. So we need to continue praying.
What about the Facebook messages I've seen going around? People like writing nasty comments just because somebody supports one group or another. Do you have any message for those kind of people? Because I think they need to stop. If you're supporting one group or another, we don't care, but the hate speech has to stop. And I've seen it a lot through this political season.
Yeah, and that's what I say, that this is something that has not been experienced in our country before. And I think the social media has something to do with it, because we are spreading a lot of hate. It's very, very easy to spread the wrong news or the wrong rumors that are gonna make people heart, just their heart stop. And so, you read something on social media that it's not true because somebody wrote it to, with their intentions to hate or destroy, and somebody is gonna act upon that message. So we need to be very, very careful on what we post on social media.
Wow, you have any worries? Because you're going home tomorrow. Any worries? Are you sad? Are you kind of worried about the whole situation?
I am worried. I am worried. The time I was doing the peace campaign, I did talk about some of the children that are actually in the children's home are some victims that were actually affected by 2007 post-elections violence. Their parents, one of the kids that we actually have there, their parents were actually, they died during that time. And it's not because they were killed, it's because they were, both parents were HIV positive, and they got actually displaced from Molo, and they came to Kiambu where they did not have any food, or things like that. And they actually, their health deteriorated, and the child was left without parents. We also have children that were displaced from different locations. Actually, we have 2 children that their parents were killed in a church fire, and they actually walked all the way from Kiambu to Thika because they had been given a ride by somebody from Molo. And so we have them. They have been street children, and now they live at our children's home. So this is something that is going to re-traumatize children or anybody that was affected by the 2007 chaos. So it's worrying. It's worrying me that victims that have gone through that and recovered and healed, they are being, re-traumatized, which is very bad.
Yeah, please do stay safe when you go back there. There is so much uncertainty, as he have said here. So, any closing thoughts? We've talked about cyberbullying, effects, prevention, the parents, how they're supposed to cope with all these kind of stuff. We've talked about the current political situation in Kenya. Do you have any closing thoughts about today's topic? We can give the closing thoughts, then we can finish this broadcast.
I just want to say, be your sisters and your brothers' keeper. Watch out for their kiddos. Watch out for your neighbors. If you see your child who is struggling, or your neighbor's child, just reach out to them. Reach out to other parents. Let's preach peace. If everybody actually just posted a message of peace or promoting peace on their Facebook wall, even the devil would get scared. He would run away from our country. So just stay positive and prayerful. Wherever you are, however you are affected, whether you have been bullied, go ahead and forgive and forge on and don't hit back.
Alrighty, and I think we have come to the end of our
Do you have any question? Any one of the questions that maybe we need to address?
Do you want to read some comments there, if you want, as Eunice?
I only see one comment.
You can read some of the questions.
Can you read it? I can't read any question. Oh, great topic. I think I don't see any questions. I see mainly comments, positive comments. Developing relationship with your children is the best way. Yeah, I see a lot of good comments, feedback from people. What are the messages they're communicating with their friends? Yeah, I see that. Everybody is being supportive of what you have been talking about, which is good. Yeah, I don't see
that's
question.
Good. Yeah, so we want you to be safe. We love you. We want you to come back because you have been a great contributor to the show. We're looking forward to work with you. So let us know when you come back. We have so many topics to talk about. For now, I want to tell everybody, thank you for joining the Prudentials. The next person you're probably going to see here on the Prudentials is Elizabeth Kang'ethe. She's the first counselor in United Kingdom, a Kenyan council United Kingdom. So she's a mayor, I think, in one of the counties in UK. I'm looking to interview her probably this week or next week. So I'm really, really looking forward to bring Elizabeth Kang'ethe here. So thank you guys for watching Prudential. Keep it right here. Thank you so much, Esther.
I'm Eunice. Don't call me Esther.
Alrighty. I mean, I keep on calling you. I don't know. I keep on confusing.
My name starts with E. It's okay. It's fine. My name starts with
those
E.
names I can never get them right. But anyway, Jenny Marcy's tomorrow.
Thank you.
Call
Thank
me
you
back
very
when
much.
you come back because we're gonna talk about some more interesting stuff.
Yes.
So tell us about Upendo when you go there. Just share with us.
I will.
Yeah. Send the pictures. When you go back there. I keep on confusing Esther and Eunice for some reason. It has never connected to me, So, but anyway, it's all good.
I forgive you. I forgive you.
Yes, please forgive me.
Yeah, we're human.
So, say hi to Mr. Menja and tell him I need him back here to talk about the finance. He did want to talk about finance. It was really good, and people they keep on bugging me. Bring him back. So
send them to Mr. Robert. He works very hard. That's how I am able to dedicate my life to the
nice guy there. Nice guy. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you and have a good night.
All right. Thank you, George.
Yeah, and let us know when you get home.
I will. I'll be following you.
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah, and say hi to those kids. How long are you gonna be there?
I'm not gonna tell you, but it's gonna be long.
Oh my goodness.
I'll be there for Christmas. I'll be there for Christmas. We are going to start getting ready to move because we are moving to a larger location.
Okay.
So I'll be there for some time. Just follow me on Facebook. I will post
Is
my
Robert going
website
with you?
there. Say that again.
Robert, is he going with you?
No, he's not going with me. I have other people going with me from Oklahoma.
Okay.
Some of our actually volunteers. And so, but he might be coming later, but he has to take care of business.
And please let us know how we can help with this foundation. We're here for you. So
yes, I will post
let us know.
I'll post my website there. We always look forward to people who can actually support our children. We rely wholly on sponsorship. Yeah.
Can you put it? Can you put the website on the comments here if you don't mind?
I will.
Yes.
It's www.upendokids.org.
www.upendokids.org.
Yes, that's our website. That's our website. We don't get any government funding. The Kenyan government does not help us, but we do whatever God has called us to do to help the orphans and the abused and neglected children in Kenya. And we've been doing that. Yeah.
Alrighty. Thank you so much.
All right.
Say hi to your kids and your husband. Alrighty. Have a good night.
I will. God bless you.
Alrighty. Thank you.
Thank you for having me again.